There's a woman who wants a refund after giving a psychic over $50,000 to help her fall in love and find her soulmate. But the psychic didn't deliver. And the woman was like, well, I paid you a whole bunch of money and I'm still not with my soulmate. And we want to know, is she going to get the refund that she's looking for? And also, is it illegal for a psychic to say, give me this amount of money and I'm going to make something very specific happen?
That's a good question.
Did she promise it?
Well, let's hear what she has to say, right?
Yep.
When she did the reading, she found there was a man. I said, yes, there's a man I like at the gym. And she said, well, I can bring this man closer to you for $550. He transferred 12 to 15,000, but she said she preferred cash. So I was dropping off a lot of cash at her house. If everything was going so great, I said to her, why isn't anything happening for me? All I'm doing is paying you money. I said, I'm paying you thousands and thousands of dollars. And I'm not getting nothing.
She didn't complete the work. That's the problem. Everything she wanted, I gave her. She wanted different services.
Oh, so she's saying you got to do your part. Mm-hmm. This goes back to what I've said for years. There needs to be a stupidity tax. This woman, this is her stupidity tax. You're a freaking moron. You're giving $50,000 to a psychic to find somebody for you. Go to a matchmaker that does it for a living.
But people
Go on
do
a freaking
it all
dating
the
app.
time, though.
But you're throwing your money away. You got to know that.
But to me, that must be hard to prove because, no offense to anybody in the entire area.
All right.
Like when you look at it from my point of view, like for instance, I'm agnostic. And you look at religion, like, okay, so you don't believe in that. But you believe in religion. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at it like, well, how do we know? I mean,
I can see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I can see what you're saying, yes. I mean, to
This
her.
is very offensive.
To her, it was a very real thing.
Were you offended?
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not offended at all.
I get it.
On the outside, I could look at what Jared just said about that. Mm-hmm. I could look at that about religion. Although I go back and forth.
But,
Well, and
you also, your donations go to something very specific and you don't ask for it back.
But people will say, well, I'm maybe lighting a candle like we do in our church, and a donation is accepted, and then you think to yourself, well, I mean, the prayer that I lit the candle for didn't necessarily work out, and people think that way. Some people do.
Mm-hmm. And if they ask for their money back, sorry, too bad.
Right. There's
a stupidity tax. I don't care. You have to admit, if one of your friends you found out gave $50,000 to a psychic for any reason, they're stupid.
I would think that there's something very wrong.
Some people
for sure.
Some people are stupid.
And some people are. Some people are, but the older individuals also get scammed
It's
all the
different,
time.
like
I mean,
complex
but
things.
Is it?
Well, somebody calling them from the FBI and it looks real. I mean, people can be tricked, but like me and Jason, when we did the Ponzi scheme by accident, like a little stupidity tax. We knew something was off about it. We didn't know it was illegal, but
well, we knew it could fold and this and that. But at the same time, we're like, maybe we can get in time where we can.
And we were lied to. There was supposed to be a penny auction associated with it that they weren't doing. So
there was
a
a penny auction. It's just it wasn't ran properly because I've won and I never get my product.
No.
Okay, and if you're according to Jared, you should be taxed a stupid tax.
At some point down that we knew it was like too good to be true. There's a little bit of stupidity
but people
tax.
did make money. I mean, people were making thousands
there were people
of
getting
dollars.
checks,
It was just illegal.
Yeah.
But
I can admit I paid the stupid tax that day.
Okay.
I got all my money back up until last year. It's weird. It's been going on for a decade. But anyways, but at the same time, if this girl's saying she can bring them closer and blah, 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 and you have to do, I don't see how she get the money back because this is the service that she wanted. And just like you believe in religion or not, that person believes it. And we have just like we can criticize religion, how can we criticize and say that's being ripped off when
she's
that person's
asking for her money back?
Well, she's
donating
asking
to a
for her
charity.
money. She's asking for her money back.
Yeah, she is.
But the fortune psychic is she's making the claim that this is real.
But I happen to believe that the psychic could be taking advantage of
They
this
all are.
woman.
They know they're not psychic.
But there
I
you
don't
go
believe
again.
that.
I mean,
I don't believe that for a second.
I think the
there are
most
people who
famous
have.
psychic is Miss Cleo, and she went to prison for fraud.
Well, that was on a humongous scale, but I
Yeah.
think that there are people in this world that have that ability.
And they don't charge you for it.
But they're not charging you for it, and
Right.
that's why I think that it's taking advantage of this woman who very clear. I mean, we've
Should I
heard
get my
recently.
Should I get my church donation back because I didn't get the $1 million I was praying for?
No, because that's not how it works.
That's not how this
Because
works.
if you're like, I'll pay 10% of my tithing, and if I pay tithing 10%, and if I pray to be a millionaire and it worked every time, then everyone would just do that.
Mm-hmm.
It would be
Well,
too easy.
same with the fortune teller.
We know a woman, and it happened very recently, who lost a child, and she spent an insane amount of money talking to a psychic just to be able to connect with her daughter again. And it was like you could see how that somebody who is so distraught
You're taking
and
advantage
so
of
upset,
somebody.
you're taking advantage.
Yeah, in that situation, because they're grieving.
I think in this situation too, this woman clearly wants something very specific to happen.
Look, I looked at my FanDuel account.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had this. They keep track of all your bets.
Yeah, for taxes.
And
You're
to turn you
winning
in at some point.
and losing.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I definitely don't owe anything. But
it's tax.
But there's some of that's a stupidity tax, not because it's betting. It's because I'm doing a 25 leg parlay. Okay, I'm just saying here, just take my money.
So you're saying there's a chance.
And if I win, fine. If I lose, I'm like, that's not fair.
That means he has to get 25 bets in a row. If one bet loses,
It's
he
over.
loses. But if he does win, he could win like $1 million.
Right. So you see why I do it. I put $5 in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
But also I noticed I actually have, as soon as I place, I just threw away $10. I say as soon as I do it.
Yeah, but if you remember, I told you the guy won $1 million. He took out 200,000 because if a couple hit, then you can just.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, I own that. It's like it's risky.
And you guys make fun of me for wanting to order a more expensive bottle of wine. Shut up. We all spend our money
Can
differently,
that expensive
isn't it?
bottle of wine possibly make you $1 million? No.
It could make me a hell of a lot happier than I am sitting here.
Maybe you didn't drink it and you stored it for 50 years.
Sure.
Let's go to our official attorney, Lisa Lanier. Where are we on this?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So I love the discussion. That was fascinating, and you know, no, it was
we're all
like the
stupid.
comparison that Jason made about church.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't thought about it that way, and I have heard pastors who promise prosperity if you tithe. What's
Right.
the difference, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
Thank you.
prosperity. It might not be specifically you will win $1 million, but if you do this, you will prosper. And then how do you explain when they don't prosper? And is that on the church? No. But anyway, that's so
And
with
that's
this
about- yeah.
situation. In this situation, so in Canada they do, and in the United States they do prosecute psychics who go too far. And typically, matter of fact, a Canadian citizen there was like a joint task force between Canadian and U.S. law enforcement, brought this person down. They're in prison now. Debunked people for $1.75 million. It was more than one person. But this happens all the time. There was somebody's doing 9 years in prison in Florida as of last year. 9 years, scammed an elderly man out of $1 million using his wife. His wife was the customer of the psychic, and they would coach her to go to him and tell him these lies about that the money was going to, this was a Jewish man, that the money was going to aid people in Israel. And so they were filtering the money from him that way, but to the psychic. And they have these, so where they go from, I'm just telling you, I'm talking to your dead relative, or I'm telling you what's going to happen in the future, that stuff is not actionable typically. Where they cross the line is where they make promises, like this one did. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make this man fall in love with you. And then the other thing that is really key to whether they can be prosecuted is the scale of it. If somebody says, I'm going to cast a love spell on you and make a man fall in love with you, that'll be $75. Bye. They're not going to get prosecuted. But the scale of this, $50,000. Interestingly, this lady in Toronto, she didn't go to the police. She went to News 2. She went to call News 2 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they went and visited the psychic and worked out a repayment plan that often these consumer affairs correspondents do. And the lady has made a payment, but then she stopped. She made a $2,000 repayment, and then she stopped. So, so now this lady, the victim, has got to decide, does she want to take this to court? They prey on these people. This lady was in a bad way. Her husband had just left her. She was lonely. She was upset, afraid about being by herself, blah, blah, blah. So she sees this guy at the gym. She's attracted to him. The psychic starts off small, and then it gets bigger and bigger. And then they often do this, these ones that have the love spell thing going on. They want gold bars to create this power thing.
Of course, they can only use a gold bar.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Gold bars, yeah. So in all three of the cases that I've mentioned, that was one of the scams they did.
Okay.
And they'll send them to Costco. because Costco sells
the gold
bars.
bars.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, can you ask
so
me?
Pretty smart.
It's not down bad.
If you're, are you saying it has to do then with the wording? Because if it's not a fortune teller, a psychic.
Well,
Yep.
If a psychic comes in and says, "Look, I can put vibes out there to help this along. There's no guarantees, but it appears to me that he does seem like he's, in my vision, he does seem like he's more in love with you, and I think it's working." Those types of statements, and then charge the $50,000. Is there still a problem there?
I mean, it just really depends. I mean, the scale of it is bad, right? Because $50,000 is way out of.
Well, they do that at church,
right?
There's church people. That,
No, they do.
Well, it's
Yeah,
tithing,
but-
and tithing
but
goes
it
to
ha-
certain. I think I understand the analogy,
It has
but
more to do with what the normal charge would. Like the normal charge for a psychic is what? Like, I don't know. I don't go to psychics, but like $100 or $200.
Probably, yeah,
but
it's-
not 50,000.
Yeah. That charge is
Right.
so
I don't know.
large.
I feel as
Yeah.
though the amount it's if that person has a talent and then they believe that talent, and the person, maybe the psychic actually even believes themselves that they're helping. It's if somebody gives $50,000 to the church and you will prosper. Has that ever brought up in court, that defense of the church?
No, I
would.
don't think so. I mean, it may have. I haven't. I'm not
it's very
familiar with
specific types of churches that are like prosperity type doctrine. You know what I'm saying? Lots of churches say you're doing this for charitable reasons. You're tithing to the church as a sacrifice.
But there's a lot of I've heard the prosper in certain churches before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I don't know how. Like, they're not saying, "Oh, you're going to get, you're going to be a millionaire next year." Very specific.
But I'm saying if the person says it feels like they're getting closer to you, and there's no guarantees. I mean, it's kind of.
I feel like somebody's probably tried to sue on that before because like you said, some of them do really directly preach that,
Yes,
and then of
some
course
do.
it doesn't always work out. But and there's plenty of successful psychics. I mean, what's that? Teresa Caputo, isn't that her name?
Yep.
She goes around. She was just at the local theater, sold out. I mean, people love that stuff. I personally think that they have a real sense about people, that they are very good observers of people. Because as for fun, I hire a psychic for my big Halloween party every year. I don't believe in it. I just hire it for fun. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
There's always a line to see her. So one year, she told a friend of mine that she had a major health problem and she should see her doctor right away. She was very specific about it.
Wow.
So my friend ended up diagnosed with pancreatic cancer within a month.
What?
So that you go, whoa, that's crazy, right? But she could have been observing her body, her body language, the pallor of her skin.
She been a little yellow, a little jaundice.
Yeah, she might have, right. She might have been holding her, she might have had stomach pain. She might have been sort of postured a certain way, holding her tummy a certain way, that kind of thing. So I think maybe it's just they're super observant, but I mean, everybody was blown away by that. And now, they all love this lady and they think she's amazing. But I do think that there's ways to do it that's entertainment and that's, reasonably priced and that sort of thing. But these people cross a line. They're clearly stringing people along. They're bilking them for a lot of money, and they're making promises that are not just predictions and that sort of thing, and that's what crosses the line and gets them prosecuted.
And they have no control over it whatsoever. It's like the psychic at your party didn't say, you have this kind of cancer and you need to go now. It was like, just observing
But she
how
did
she
say
was.
a major medical problem. I mean, if I was a psychic I wanted to charge my fee anytime you saw me $5,000, and I had the reputation of Lisa's psychic for whatever it is, maybe it's super observant, and I would say, I'm going to try to make him closer. There's no guarantees, but my fee is $5,000 every time you see me. I don't see a problem with that.
5,000?
I don't.
If you can.
If people, and I do have a problem. And look, I've made a lot of tons. It's called marriage. Bad financial decisions.
Well, that was predicted to you, remember?
That was
predicted to you by a psychic.
And part of it came true while I was going to Lisa's wedding.
Yes.
My car broke down, which was part of this. We had somebody that came in studio, Lisa. Maybe you heard this. Katie, you want to share it?
Yeah, sure. So we decided to have a psychic come into the studio, and she was pulling certain cards.
A fortune teller.
Psychic fortune teller. And so we have the cards laid out, and she asked us to, everybody, pull the card that you feel the most drawn to, that's speaking to you, et cetera. So we all pick our card, and no kidding, Jared's was like, what was it? It was
the
Prince
the Prince of Death. She's like,
Yeah.
This never gets drawn. This is the worst one. I'm like,
I've never
great.
drawn this card, and it was like in the very near future, you are going to suffer financial despair.
Yeah,
and
major financial despair. And I was like,
Jared was
what?
like, okay, whatever, because he doesn't really, believe in that at all, whatever. And we were all like, oh my God. And lo and
We're
behold,
driving to your wedding in Cary or Raleigh.
in Cary.
Yeah.
Shortly after.
Shortly thereafter, my car broke down, and it was a Dodge Stratus.
Surprise.
And I was like,
Yeah.
is this a major financial calamity? I was like, maybe so, because you have to get a new car.
Sure.
I mean, the engine went. And so then I called, we get along great now, but I called my wife at the time, Heather, to come get me. And she was like, you can just stay there tonight. Like, she didn't care at all. Did not offer to come get me. Nothing. And I was like,
Nothing.
that ain't a great sign. That ain't great.
On the side of the highway, and she told you no.
Then our GM at the
No,
time
that's terrible.
let me
Oh, my
borrow,
God.
Dick Harlow let me borrow his Cadillac, which was freaking cool.
Yeah,
But anyway,
to drive home.
He let me have it for like 2 weeks. I was like, I'm just driving a caddy around town. Like, yeah, this is. So I'm like, this psychic doesn't know anything. I got a caddy now. Right, and I'm in with the GM or the
Look at
president of the
this.
company. And then like it wasn't a month later, divorce.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
well,
that
I had a great wedding, but hey, I'm divorced now, right? So we all ended up.
He was a curse on everybody.
it's a long-lasting curse. Jason's been affected by it. She didn't say there's any end to it. No, but so I don't think people don't. I'm not saying people don't have the skill. I'm more big on you're an adult. You have to have some suspicion that they may be wrong. If you're giving them $50,000, you give them $50,000. You lost $50,000.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
That's what I think. Unless there's some kind of guaranteed promise, I just don't like that you can sue for that, because that's what you're paying for. I should be able to set that unless I'm.
Well, that's what you're paying for, and it's just not attainable for her to give you the results. She just doesn't have control over giving you those results.
Right. Now, do you think this woman will win? I think especially the woman has already given the psychic, already gave her back $2,000.
Yeah,
It's almost like
I think she should go to law enforcement, and I think the woman would be probably prosecuted for this, because it goes to that level where she's made very specific promises, and she did the whole go to Costco and get some gold bars and all that. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
When they take it to that level, they're just digging a hole for themselves, because
specific
that's
promise,
way beyond. It's way beyond the standard, and that's what gets them. So I think she ought to go to law enforcement about it instead of the news channel or whatever. Because the thing is, the woman spent the money. She may still have the gold bars, but she spent the money.
Well, plus I think a big tell about psychics to me is like, if they're so psychic, why don't they just predict the next Google or the next?
I think because most of them don't operate that way.
Right.
Most of
Oddly
them
enough,
are not.
they never operate in a way that would benefit them
No, but-
financially,
And
but
God
then
does?
they charge people.
I think there's a difference between
And
somebody
God,
on
I
a.
can say the same thing about God.
No, it's not the same. That's a terrible analogy.
I
No, it's not.
totally agree about the they should predict the lady that comes to my Halloween party. One year she canceled, and her booking agent called me and said she can't come this year because her mother passed away a few weeks ago, and she's all caught up with dealing with that in another state. And I said, well, if she was a psychic, why didn't she know that and not do the booking to begin with?
Right, exactly. That's 100%, Lisa. It's like, come on.
Because
now.
psychics work in mysterious ways, and they have a plan. We just don't
no
know
one
what that
thinks
plan
that.
is.
I don't think that.
I totally buy into it. And it's, I just choose,
The
I
psychic
just do.
thing?
I think it's not all of them where it's
Oh,
like,
I'm
I
sure.
didn't predict Google. They don't work that way. It's like reading
Certain
people's
things.
energies and reading certain things and having an ability. There's also ones who are like legit who will say, I got nothing.
Yes.
I don't know what
Haven't
to tell
you seen the movie
but
Ghost?
You're not paying money to go see them.
I mean,
Ghost-
I don't believe
Ghost.
any of it.
I don't think
but
Ghost. Did that have a
It
psychic?
doesn't have a psychic.
Ghost.
Just Ghost.
The movie Ghost?
She was
Yeah.
just a medium. Like,
She all of a sudden
Oh,
she
I
was
got you.
doing
Yeah, you're right, like a seance.
a seance thing,
I don't
and all of
remember-
a
I don't
sudden
remember the movie.
she was shocked because all of a sudden she really felt the presence of whatever.
Yeah.
it was in a movie. It's real.
I
I'm
believe in
just
that
saying.
too.
I think that's the kind of operation.
I'm saying people do have certain
It's
skills,
like it's just like we
sensitivities.
don't say like, well, why would God let this happen to this poor kid? Well, because
Now you're stretching. Like,
I don't think so.
how's that have to do with the psychic that if it is
I
a
think
sick
from
kid?
the outside you could see like, well, a psychic. If they know a psychic, it should be guaranteed that we know to do this. Well, God is. We pray to God because He's going to make everything great. But then why did the little kid die? Because if he is existing, what we'll say as an excuse will be because God has a plan. It works in mysterious ways.
I can see your correlation for sure.
And I'm not saying that I believe in
understand
any
it.
of that.
I think it's really stupid.
Of course you do.
I
Well, there are a lot of people who legit believe.
Yeah.
Not an
I mean, there are a lot of
agenda.
people who legit believe in like these veils and things, and that like dead people, it like you can get close to like somewhere where the veil is thin or whatever. I've read about this stuff, and it's fascinating. People really, they think that you can like feel the presence of a dead loved one or whatever because they're near that veil or whatever. I don't really get it, but I mean, a lot of people do believe it.
I think you can believe all the above. I think some of those things can be true. But I'm saying the ones that's like, hey, I can get you a boyfriend for $50,000.
No,
Like,
that's
use
wrong.
your freaking
We'll all
brain.
agree with that.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
It's a specific
Right.
guarantee. Yeah.
You ever see the show The Mentalist? It was on CBS. It was so
Yeah.
good. He wasn't a psychic, but it was more he looked at clues and he just saw things you didn't see. But it wasn't like reading the future. He could just put puzzles together that no one else could. It was a good show. All right, Lisa, you're awesome. Official attorney of Jared and Katie in the Morning, Lisa Lanier.